Well, I think looking at the cars in 2012, you see obviously quite a big difference at the nose of the car. So yeah, doesn't look that nice, but I think people will get used to it, and it's obviously a way to get around around the regulations that we have for this year. I don't think it will stay like that for a long time. So this year for sure, but then I think for next year's car it will be gone, and then for the rest of it, it looks fairly similar to last year. Not that many differences. Obviously, yeah, more attention to detail, but in terms of rough look, it's obviously the nose that stands out. I think you always have pressure. So being one of the champions in the grid, obviously is a very nice feeling. But I think you take every year as a new year, as a new challenge, and we all start from 0 points. So yeah, we are ready to fight again, and it will be a very long and tough way. But we are all motivated to go that way again. To highlight the differences between Hockenheim and Nürburgring isn't that easy. I mean, the circuits are completely different. Nürburgring is much more up and down, so you've got more evaluation changes. Hockenheim is a flat circuit, but then again, obviously I have a strong link to Hockenheim because it's close to the area, close to my home where I come from, so it's only half an hour drive, whereas Nürburgring is a bit more far away, but generally, I mean, I like both of the tracks, which is good, and the fact to have the possibility to race in your home country, so to have your home Grand Prix is always special. The support you get by the fans, so that makes it more special than anywhere else. Indianapolis 2007 was my very first race, and obviously I have a lot of good memories. So I still remember what happened and the race and what happened on that day and before the race, because we have a very strong link. It's the very first race, and yeah, I remember that I was quite exhausted. It was very tough. The first time I raced the Grand Prix distance, and yeah, it seemed very long at the time. So, but since then, obviously, I had a lot of races and got used to it. So, feeling much better now. This year, 2012, we are going to Austin, and I think people are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It has been a long time we haven't raced in America, so it's good to go back. Well, I think first of all, America is a very big country, so there's a lot of things to visit, a lot of things to do, a lot of opportunities, and yeah, it seems endless when you're there. So we will go to Austin, which is in Texas. I've never been there before. I've been to both East and West Coast, but yeah, if you look at the size of the country, then I haven't seen much yet. So it will be another part, and bit by bit, obviously, yeah, hopefully I'm able to learn a little bit more about the people, about the culture. But yeah, generally it's fairly easy because people speak English. It's very easy to communicate there. People are very open, very friendly. So yeah, it's a great country, I think, and it's good to go there racing again. It would be a dream to win everywhere. Every race in the calendar, to come back and say I've won there. But yeah, so I hope I still have a long time in Formula One, so I will try my best to be on the top step also in those races. If you look at the calendar, we are racing all over the world, and surely there are some cities that stand out. So I really love going to Australia, to Melbourne. I think it's a great city, a great vibe, and a great place. Lots of things to do, nice restaurants. It's just a very nice atmosphere. Then other races, I think Montreal is one that stands out again. We are racing more or less in the city, so you're fairly close to the track all the time, but you're also fairly close to the city center. So there are a couple of races that stand out. Obviously Monaco is great. You're racing in the middle of the city and has a lot of tradition as well. So I think if you look, at all the races, there's lots of things you can do. Not always we do have a lot of time to explore those things because we are busy. We have a full-time job at the racetrack, but yeah, especially for the overseas races when we get some days off, then yeah, it's nice to take a look and see a couple of things. Also, it's nice to come back every year and see a little bit more. I think, looking at how long the season is, you have to remain fresh for, the whole of the season. So race one, but also the last race, which isn't easy to do. The breaks you have, the little breaks you have, you need to use to get back into shape, to, refuel and recharge the batteries. So yeah, I will not tell you how I do it, but I think it has worked pretty well previous years, and I try to keep it up. I think as long as you enjoy what you do, then motivation shouldn't be a problem. In terms of preparing 2012, I didn't do that much different. You always try to do better than the previous year, so obviously you make some notes and you learn along the way, and yeah, I hope that I did some things better than last year that make me better in the car, allow me to be more fit and yeah, have more capacity once I'm sitting in the race and willing to fight for position. And yeah, so it's not just about the preparation, but also in the season, how you deal with whatever situation you're in. I think in the end, the regulations might have changed a little bit, but I think if you stick to a certain code, driving code, then there's no difference to last year's. So I think you should always respect whoever you're racing against, and you make sure you give him enough room if you're racing him, because ultimately you would like to see it the other way around, exactly the same way. So yeah, as I said, whatever is written on paper is one thing, but how you behave on track, I think as long as you're fair and racing fair, then it should be fine. Australia is a tough track for both the car and the driver, so it's quite bumpy. It's not a permanent racetrack, so it's on. We held on a normal street, so it's quite rough. Yeah, and easy for the car to break down, or for the driver to do a mistake. So you need everything coming together. Last year we had a very good race there, no trouble. So we hope that this year the car survives, and also from my point of view, I hope that I stay on track and we'll have a good race.